host of the Gridiron.
Yeah, you got to throw this one out there, baby, right? They hired Matthew Stafford's brother-in-law. What? So you tell me there's a chance, huh? Well, there's a lot of, obviously speculation out there going on that the Giants might wind up. There's the Cupmeister, right? And now the thing is I'm kind of is the Cupmeister, is he in the slot a lot? I mean, don't we got like Wan'Dale Robinson? I mean, are we going to have like 13 slot receivers on the field at the same time? I'm not exactly sure here, but I know Malik Neighbors would love to see the Cupmeister on the field, right? And with Mr. Stafford, the thing is with Mr. Stafford, obviously, we need some, he's not the most mobile quarterback in the world. Need to protect him, right? But right, since we did move this here. Since we did bring in his brother-in-law, Giants' latest coaching hire fuels quarterback speculation. Ooh. Giants' latest coaching hire has garnered attention over the past 24 hours, fueling more Matthew Stafford to the New York Giants rumors. In case you missed it, February 10th, Adam Schefter. Hi, I'm Adam Schefter. Reported that the Giants are hiring former Jacksonville Jaguars and Buffalo Bills wide receiver coach Chad Hall as their assistant quarterback coach, per source. Normally, now interesting, Chad Hall as your assistant quarterbacks. Hiring former Jaguar and Bills wide receiver coach. But he's coming over here. He's the assistant quarterbacks coach. Normally, this would be the type of hire that most football fans would immediately gloss over. But an additional note from, hi, I'm Adam Schefter. I'm Shefty. How you doing? Turned some heads. Hall now reunites with his former Bills colleagues, head coach Brian Daboll and general manager Joe Schoen in New York. He said, adding, Hall is also the brother-in-law of current Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. Very into this thing. Now, does Hall's presence mean the Giants are gunning for Stafford? Not necessarily. But the rare coincidence did raise some eyebrows around New York, especially considering how quarterback-starved the Big Blue franchise has been. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Stafford, who was the winning quarterback in Super Bowl 56 in 2021. We're going to talk more about that a little later in our program, Super Bowl 56. Matter of fact, we're going to talk about the last 5 Super Bowls a little later in our program. Stafford, who was the winning quarterback, is unhappy with his Rams contract and could be made available one way or another. New York Post reported Ryan Dunleavy wrote on February 10th, if the Giants somehow attract Stafford, it changes their short-term outlook. Local radio shows like The Fans, Brandon Tierney and Sal Licata, I think it is, also ran with this story, debating if Stafford would be a good fit for the Giants on February 11th, as did many fans on social media. Malik Neighbors started Matthew Stafford to the Giants speculations. The Stafford to the Giants rumors really began with star wide receiver Malik Neighbors ahead of the Super Bowl, as the soon-to-be second-year playmaker gushed over the veteran quarterback during an interview with the NBC Sports' Matthew Berry. Somebody, the dude can throw the ball, right? We need to keep the dude upright now, right? Because as we all know, it's becoming obviously more and more, of a mobile quarterback league. That certainly doesn't mean you can't win with somebody in the pocket, just standing there just throwing darts, right? But Matthew Stafford is not one of the, he's not the Lamar Jackson, right? Ain't happening, right? Ain't no Josh Allen where you come at him, he'll just run he'll throw a forearm and knock your head off or something like that. Or Lamar Jackson where you have 37 guys surrounding him and he works his way out and runs for a touchdown. You got to protect the guy. You got to keep him upright. So, so the Giants, for to bring him in, they better start figuring that out because it's like it doesn't matter. The Giants traded. Not that anybody knows or cares. Giants traded for Craig Morton in 1974, got him from the Dallas Cowboys. He's a good quarterback. He's just a statue, and we couldn't keep him upright, right? So it didn't turn out very well, right? But let's see. Malik Neighbors also dropped a since-deleted cryptic X post that appeared to hint that he wanted both Stafford and the Cupmeister to join Big Blue. Let's see. For more of a will the Rams even move on perspective, Stafford's wife also opened the door for a new adventure. On her podcast the morning after on February 6th. Whoa. I love the city of Los Angeles, Kelly Stafford stated on her podcast. I love the city of LA. I love living here. With that being said, I love an adventure. I am all for it. Ooh. Continuing, a value being respected and wanted over convenience. It would be very convenient to stay in Los Angeles, very easy. But if someone doesn't feel valued, then I'm like, let's hit the road. Let's go on an adventure. Callie Stafford also noted that the most difficult part of leaving Detroit was distancing her family from all their friends and loved ones. So perhaps having Hall around makes a Giants move more enticing. Aha. Let's see. Steelers and Vikings profile as Giants' top competitor. The Steelers and Vikings profile as the Giants' top competition for Rams. Yeah. The Vikings? Don't they have McCarthy? So the Steelers would have to let go of Wilson and Justin Fields just to bring in, or I guess not re-sign the guys. Huh. Interesting. And that's also assuming Stafford even becomes available. Kelly Stafford made it clear that wherever her husband ends up in 2025, he wants to win, and the Steelers have displayed a long track record of winning football under head coach Mike Tomlin. Another theoretical roadblock could be the Minnesota Vikings if they were to let Sam Darnold walk in free agency. Stafford to Minnesota would presumably only be a one-year deal with the first-round pick, J.J. McCarthy, recovering from injury. So you're going to just bring him in for 1 year. But if the Vikings called and the Rams listened, the clear Super Bowl contender would be a no-brainer of a landing spot for the veteran quarterback. Yeah, I mean, because if the Vikings could land Stafford, right, and build up a little bit more, like maybe Darnold go, McCarthy sit on the bench, just be for 1 year now. But he'd be on a team he knows is heading in the right direction for at least have a Super Bowl chance. They can add few pieces right in the draft. Certainly, they would be obviously a hot commodity going into the playoffs and all. They should have another good season, unless they get decimated by injuries. But not only would Stafford have a realistic shot at hoisting the Lombardi Trophy one more time in Minnesota, he'd also be playing in a dome and learning a similar offense, being that the Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell is a product of the Sean McVay trade. So, playing indoors. Right? Same kind of offense. So, how old is Matthew Stafford? I don't know. Let's see. Matthew Stafford. All right. Let's see what we got here. But this one here. All right, Matthew Stafford's 37. So, he just turned 37. Okay, so, you know, just turned 37. Now, if the Giants could bring him in, let me say, hold on here. Let's check this out here. Los Angeles Rams salary cap. All right. I usually go to Spot Track because I can read it a little bit better. Matthew Stafford, cap hit. $46 million is cap hit. Dead cap. I said, what's this kind? What we got here? Click on it. Let me click on it. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. Let's see. Matthew Stafford signed a 4-year, $160 million contract with the Rams. Wow. $130 million guaranteed. An average salary of $40 million. Wow. So I mean, you know, it's just make your head spin, right? The Giants signed Daniel Jones to $40 million. That's what Matthew Stafford's getting from the Rams, $40 million. Now, I said now his let's see, last year. No, that was last year. This year, his cap is almost $50 million. So it's 49.6 this year in 2025. Then it goes up to 53. So I'm not exactly sure. You know, it's one of those things. You know, it would have to want to be in some type of a trade. Now, obviously, for what I've seen, okay, is that it's not going to have to. You know, it's not going to be like a first or second round pick you're dishing this guy. Now, and the thing is, we would have to wind up being, you know, to get Matthew Stafford here, it might wind up being something along the lines, maybe, possibly, how much of the money do the Rams eat compared to how much you, right? I mean, unless you know, because he's got his money, right? I mean, as long as it's working out the way I'm thinking it's working out, you know, because he still has 2 more years left on his contract, right? If you give them like a 3rd round pick and maybe a 4th round pick or something, the next year or something like that, maybe the Rams, I don't know, just throwing out there, maybe the Rams will eat half his contract. So you only have to pay him. Or if you give him a 3rd round and a 3rd round, maybe the Rams will eat half his contract this year or half his contract or something along. You know what I mean? So you might be, you know, it might be, you know, the juicier you make the draft pick, the more money the Rams might wind up eating. Who knows? But it doesn't hurt to maybe to pick the phone up and make a call, because he can certainly see where he could, you know, I mean, you can get maybe a couple years out of him, but the thing is, you got to keep this guy upright, right? Now, the thing would be, you know, is the Giants don't have a ton of cap space, you know, if they sign a draft class, right? But to get him in here, that would be fantastic. Now, the thing is that the Giants do have that. They could free up probably about 40. They have like 4 or 5 guys, veterans, that they could redo structure contracts, and they could free up. And not only that, but if they let Graham Gano go, right? That's like $3 or $4 million right there they'd save. You know, so between cutting some guys and redoing some contracts, the Giants could free up and get another $40 or $50 million in cap space. But, you know, you've got to keep this guy upright. The thing is that, you know, the Giants are kind of rebuilding, retooling, whatever you want to call it. The Giants are not in a win-now mode. You know, so if he was to come here, maybe with his brother-in-law, right? You know, it's not. You know, he knows for sure that he's not going to. He's not going to. You know, win next year, right? You know. I mean, if he's gonna, if you know, if anything's going to happen with Matthew Stafford, right, winning here with the Giants, we're not talking for 3 years, right? Because you figure next year, if we can do a little more retooling, right, if with any luck, if Schoen and Daboll is still here, whatever, maybe the 2 years, maybe we can, get into the playoffs, and then maybe, we can, maybe the third year, maybe be knocking on the Super Bowl door or something like that. But it's going to take at least another couple more years. We got to keep our players, keep signing the good player, keep the good players in-house, right? Like Kayvon and, right? And we got to keep adding in the draft, right? Without question. So, but I mean, if we can get Matthew Stafford here, that would at least that would simmer the right, because then what we can do is we got Matthew in here, right? And then we got Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan could be the third string or whatever, right? Second string, whatever. You want to draft a quarterback in one of the later rounds. I mean, maybe somebody you can, somebody you think you can maybe, Daboll, somebody thinks he can work with, right? But whoever that would be on the cheap. So I'll have to wait and see. But I'll tell you what, if you can get Matthew Stafford, if you could, especially if you can get the Cupmeister in here. That's so. Hold on here. Oh. Hold on. How old is, let's see. Cooper. Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. 1993. So he's 31. He'll be 32 in June. So, I mean, does he still? I mean, he's been 2017. So I mean, but I'm sure that would certainly, without question, add some excitement. Yeah, and then for at least the time being, we could dismiss the gotta get a quarterback, right?